Okay, so here we are. I get to rant a little bit today. This is my pet peeve about the treatment for anxiety and depression. I could get really riled up about this, but first I want to start this off by saying I have great compassion for anyone who is struggling with anxiety or depression, because that was me for many, many years. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, helping people step into their higher selves and combat that with love and without medication. So this is my frustration. So many kids, people, adults are on these medications and they mess with your head. Let's just be real. They mess with your head. And yes, are they helpful? Yes. Is there a place for them? Absolutely. When we're feeling really out of control and not stable, and we're not even able to get coaching or counseling without being calm. Of course. But the idea has to be for it to be temporary. Unfortunately, what happens is, if that's the first thing and the only thing your psychiatrist or whoever recommends these drugs to you offers to you, you kind of think, oh, well, this is just how I am. I have a chemical imbalance, so this is it. And I'm here to say that that does not have to define you. I didn't have it define me. And I absolutely am sure I have a chemical imbalance, childhood trauma, genetic predisposition, all of that to anxiety and depression. And I'm not on anything, and I haven't been on anything for 12 years. Nothing. Now, how can I do that when before that I was absolutely dependent? I had a Xanax addiction, and I had been on various different drugs to help me try to cope. And so just so you know that I have great compassion for where you are in coping and how fearful it can be, how horrible it can feel. I know what it's like. I've absolutely been there. But every time I hear of someone that goes to a psychiatrist or their PCP and the first action is to prescribe these medications, it really infuriates me, without even encouraging that person to change their lifestyle, try meditation, try coaching or counseling, to really get deeper into what's going on. Maybe there's childhood trauma. Maybe there is that predisposition, but you do not have to be defined by that. So at age 23, that's what happened to me. I was having panic attacks and I was super scared. I was beginning to be afraid to even leave my home. And that's it. I was just prescribed some medication and boom, that's it. No coping skills, no teaching me the power that I have within, none of that. None of that happened until I went on my own journey, until I started hearing speakers and teachers and spiritual leaders and coaches like myself tell me that I was powerful and strong and that I didn't have to rely upon these things. It wasn't until I heard that, which was probably 10 years after I had been on various medications and dealing with the side effects and having it mess with your brain. My brain's so beautiful. I love that I'm not on anything. And here's the thing. Again, I understand if you're on something and you need to be on something right now, that's okay. You are loved. You are. No judgment here and no making yourself wrong. But I'm here with exciting news, with some heart work, with support, with mentoring and coaching. You can be off that stuff. You absolutely can. But it might take some time and it might take some commitment to you. Because what we have to do is shift the belief that this is just how I am. I just have anxiety. That's a common term I hear. I have anxiety. Well, what if I tell you that your ego that has the anxiety, but not capital Y, you? You do not have anxiety. Your ego does. And your ego jumped into the driver's seat of your life and is driving your life. And so that's why We are too much identifying with this wounded ego rather than our higher self and who we really are. Okay? So I have no doubt that your wounded ego definitely is scared and terrified and doesn't have hope and doesn't think there's a way out, because that is the ego. The ego has those thoughts. But those thoughts are just thoughts, and they're not real. They are not real. And so there's a process you can go through to recognize and realize they're not real. And we will lovingly walk you through that process so that you can eventually get off the medications that you're on. So yeah, just to go back to my story, I struggled for just short of 20 years on and off those medications. One of my clients calls them the devil's drug. And if you're on them, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's side effects. And they numb you out to life. Mm-hmm. And then there's the addiction aspect. I mean, I never left the house without those 2 little white pills of Xanax in my pocket. I had them everywhere I went. And the second I started to feel bad, I would pop a Xanax. What a life to lead. Man, it sucked. I'm literally going to say that. It sucked big time. It was terrible. And, you know, are you at that point where you've had enough? You've had enough. No more. Mm-mm. Then I can be there for you. Reach out to me. Or if you're led to someone else, please reach out to someone else. But I would sure love to help you so that you can be rid of that and stand in the power of who you are. You can wake up each day happy, excited, with gratitude. That's how I wake up. That's who I am now. It's who I was back then, but I didn't know that she existed because ego, frightened ego, was leading my life. And ego no longer is in the driver's seat. I've kicked her out with love. It's all about love. And now, capital I, my higher self, is in the driver's seat, and I do not need to be on any medications. But do I live a very intentional life? Yes. So there's choice here. I'm very intentional about what I eat. Food can absolutely affect how you feel. It's been known that even sometimes, depending on who you are, sugar, gluten can totally depress you. Alcohol. If that's possibly true for you, and you like to be free, it might be something that you consider. And again, do you hear that from the psychiatrists? I don't. I hear it from really good coaches, to be honest with you. So you can look at food, lifestyle. What's your lifestyle like? Are you in a toxic environment? Are you standing up for yourself? Are you letting people walk all over you? That will cause you depression, anxiety, like that. Yeah, so I can see why you'd be on medication. What if you actually stood up for yourself? What if you actually had boundaries and you learned how to do that with love so that you started to feel good about yourself every day, and then you didn't need that little pill? Yeah, you wouldn't need that little pill. Most of us, though, need to be shown the way. We need to be taught. We need to learn how to be that person that we really are and put ego in the back seat. Yeah, that's what it's about. So I want to talk about how hellish it is to get off those medications. That's another reason why I'm doing this video, because it is pure hell. It's hell. And if you're someone that is like, that's scaring you, you can do it. But that's why I'm so angry about why that's the only option given to people. Why is it at 23 when I was having panic attacks, I wasn't offered anything else? I wasn't offered cognitive behavioral therapy. Why wasn't I offered any of these various therapies that coaches and counselors can use? It was just, here, take this. And that makes me mad, because it is hell getting off those drugs. And it was so hellish just to slowly reduce when I finally was like, I've had enough, that I did it cold turkey. And they recommend not doing that, so don't listen to me. I'm not telling you to go cold turkey. It's just, for me, I was just like so fed up. And I think I was incapacitated for 2 weeks, but I believed so strongly by that point. I had had enough guidance to believe in me, capital M, me. In fact, the verse that helped me was, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So I believe the power within me was greater than my addiction, greater than my anxiety, than my depression, greater than anything. The power within me was greater than all of that. And I believed that. And so that's why I quit cold turkey, because I believed. What you believe really matters. It has an energetic vibration, an energy frequency. So if you're not quite there yet, but you're like thinking, yeah, I'd like to get off my medication, I'd suggest getting some help. Here I am. So you can get off and be free. You can be free. You can be free. Yeah, and it's worth the little bit of hell you might go through to get off. It really is. So if you're out there though, and you've been kind of wondering if you might want to go on medication, I would say think again and get some help by me or someone else that is laid before you on your path. Okay? All right. Blessings to you, great compassion for you. Just know that I understand. I've been there. I know how hard it is. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. The grass is greener on the other side of this. And I will love and support you every step of the way, whatever you do decide. Because this is your journey and only your journey. Okay? And hopefully my story will inspire you and help you. All right. Thank you so much.